Hello everyone. This is part 3 of the Helena, Montana tenant trouble story of a senior lady, me. Anywho, where do I begin now? You should have watched part 1 and part 2 to catch up, so I don't have to continuously go into it. Let me just jump in here now. After that first eviction notice, in regards to what they claimed I had impersonated an employee of their office. Let me get back into that afterwards, because by now we had a meeting. The tenant office called me in, accompanied by my lawyer, to a meeting. Anyway, my lawyer and we were thinking this is a grievance meeting or something. However, so let me jump into this. After that first eviction notice, I of course answered was semi-professional emails, and I do have younger friends that are very techy, so I'm always keeping up with my computer skills and online skills as best as I can, and they help me out a little here and there. So I'm just saying this so you know I'm aware of how to use a computer and write nicely and look up things, blah blah blah. But my educational background also allows me to know how to look and where to look and what to look for. Anyway, so I received a second eviction notice, a different one. So the first one was for that note that was put on one of my neighbor's doors, and they claimed I impersonated an employee of their office, which is completely bogus. Anyway, we're getting into that. The second eviction notice was about the move-in security deposit was not paid in full on a different apartment that I had rented from the beginning, but that's the one that had the kitchen fire, and I could never move in there. So here's what had happened. I'm receiving the second eviction notice, and immediately my brain goes to, yeah, right. Now you know I started complaining with an army of supporters behind me about this stupid note thing, and you guys claiming I impersonated somebody of your office. You figured, let's find something else. So I started looking into all that as well. And again, I look into this legally. I don't make these things up. I literally go into the law books, libraries online, and I look up certain things because I know how to look for what to look for, Anyway, it's a little tricky, and it definitely is work, but anyone can do it. It's not hard for me. So anyway, so immediately I get into all this, and here's what it is. Okay, so that first apartment, they rented me a different apartment number, blah blah blah. Somewhere, somehow, someone now realized, oh, wait a minute, this is my opinion. Okay, guys, this is my opinion, but I'm gonna speak it out. So somewhere, somehow, someone in that office figured, oh, wait a minute, we got her an eviction notice for the current apartment, but what if she gets any ideas to get back into her original apartment, which she rented originally, and she originally got approved for blah blah blah, which I have to say was a semi-smart move, because that is actually what I would have done as well. You got to cover your bases, so no big deal. But I'm just saying, okay, so now I saw the next move, but also the way I would have had to fight it would have been like, people, seriously, Anyway, there's no need to fight this because the rest of what's open is paid, and all is good. But anyway, let me get to this meeting now. So here we have this meeting, and we arrive at this meeting, and now comes the real interesting part. So please keep listening. Not for my pity, no, for anyone to understand these things happen. There's nothing personal. There's nobody personally put down, whatever. This is a system problem, okay? Anyway, I'm speaking of. I don't care who works there. I have no personal agenda. My agenda is me, okay? So this is a system problem. So we're having the meeting, and right away we're entering the room, my lawyer and I. The lawyer made me aware, please let her talk first. And I said, absolutely, I'll be zip my lips. I'm not gonna be smirky or whatever, you know. I know I'm straightforward, but I understand it. I'm very well understand what's going on and what lawyers have to do, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, there's a big board set up, you know, where they can run videos, and the crew is sitting there, and immediately, the vibe was like, oh, we are tenant management with a smile. We're so good, we're so great, and didn't we do this so wonderfully? But you know, okay, I can live with that. Everyone has to keep their face. And again, nothing here is personal. I'm speaking in general. This to me is a system problem. And in situations like this, it is natural that people run on a power trip. If anyone there takes my sayings personally, that's their problem. I'm speaking my opinions, my mind. So anyway, they are telling my lawyer certain things, and immediately my lawyer says, what does any of this have to do with the eviction notice you sent my client, claiming she is a threat to health and safety of the other senior tenants, and you're assuming she impersonated an employee of your office. So what did they do? They tried to convince her that I'm this bad person running around in the building putting questionable notes up, and they had 10 different video clips of me walking up and down the aisles and whatever. And my lawyer said, what does this have to do with any of this matter here? Even if my client put a note on anyone's door, it's none of your business, because number one, you weren't there. You do not know what this particular note really said, because you can't see it on any of your videos. You don't know if the note you are holding in your hand is the same note that was put on this tenant's note. And let me see this note now. I want to see what it says, my lawyer lady said. So they handed her the note, and again, the note was actually, I'm sorry that I'm laughing, because this was not very funny, because these people are gambling with my personal daily life. So my lawyer is reading this nicely printed note. It was printed nicely, professionally, but also friendly and nicely, telling this particular neighbor, hey, the regulations do not allow overnight guests. And apparently, you know, like I said, I had seen young people running around with flashlights on the floor, whatever. The point here is that a tenant management office cannot and should not, but cannot legally tell you or me or anyone that you cannot leave a note on another tenant's door. That is none of their business. Unless you put an official threat on someone's door, like I come to harm you, I'm gonna kill you, or something like this, and then that person, the recipient of the note, probably called the police, made a report, someone is threatening me, then of course a tenant management office could step in and say, wow, once this all is, done and proven by the right, police and all this, we may not want these tenants in the building no more, and then they can step in and do their thing based on a lease agreement. But what this management office has done, and I do not care if they agree in the lease to 1%, because the only thing that counts here is the law. And the law is you have stepped way over your boundaries. You discriminated against me. You came after me. You targeted me. You profiled me. That's what they have done. They didn't like to hear that. They absolutely did not like to hear that in the meeting. I looked at my lawyer lady then and I said, I know I should be quiet mostly, but I'm going to step in now because you're too nice. And I stepped in and I looked at the lady and I said, this is not what you said to me when you first met with me, and you and I know it. Because she had made a statement to my lawyer that was not completely different, but completely nicer than the way she presented herself to me. Then my lawyer lady, but by the way, this lady, I'm not going to name her name here yet. She could not look me in the eyes. She was speaking, she was answering me and looking away. I mean, people, do you really have to be a body profiler to know what that means? Anyway, getting into that later. My lawyer then asked, what was the story with printing out some of my clients' Facebook post? What was that about? So she showed the note, and here's what she said. She said, oh, well, yeah, I was just interested in what she meant. Again, the lawyer said, what does this have to do in any shape or form with you sending her an eviction notice? So anyway, all of them, the two head honchos, were really, really strongly trying to keep their faith, which is fine with me. I don't want a war with anyone. I just want to live in peace. But I now know who these people are, okay? So then the main gentleman, kind of trying to talk over me, which is whatever. I'm not even going to get into that. He was very nice. I'm not going to say he wasn't nice. He was very nice, but you can also be very nice and still do a lot of bad things. However, I got the entire idea. They want to keep their face. They don't want to admit, they don't want to deny. But the point here is, and I say it again, and I will say it again, 50,000 more times, your tenant management office has absolutely no right to tell you what to do unless it's illegal or specifically against your tenant lease regulations that you agreed with. You get the point here, right? What they have done was profiling me, discriminating me, and targeting me. And for what reason? I still have a hard time believing all this was done because of this stupid approximately $60 store delivery of mine that got stolen. All my friends tell me absolutely it was because of that theft that occurred, because that's when it all started. I made this police report, my delivery got stolen, and here comes it. You know what they said to us, to my lawyer and I want you to listen. This is going to stay online here on the internet forever, okay? Here is what they told us in regards to that theft. They played it down completely. I didn't make a big deal out of it, but they brought it up again because I had said, where are my rights? What do you guys care about the tenants, other tenants, telling me they had complained about the theft and this and that, and then it happened to me? Where are my rights? So it was played down, and here's what they said. Well, you know, it could have been that some of the tenants thought it was left there intentionally as a free pickup to anyone, because you know the building has what the tenants call a free room. Yeah, there's a free room in the basement where when you have stuff you don't want no more, you can leave there and other tenants can choose and pick if they want it. And maybe that person thought it was a free item and they took it. It was a misunderstanding, and you know that is how people are. So I immediately looked at them and I said, excuse me? This is two different scenarios. And my lawyer lady jumped in and said the same. Wait a minute, a free room in the basement is a different story than the front entrance of a secured building where people only enter with keys in front of a call board. Every tenant in the house knows this is not the free room. So why did they make this statement? Here's what my friend said. Their opinion is there's only two possibilities. The first possibility is simply that they saw who took it, they know the person well, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a relative, maybe it's a cousin of the city council, somebody, who knows. They knew the person and they just simply didn't want to get into it and didn't want to say. Or the second reason could be that they were made aware numerous times to come up with some idea of prohibiting this from happening, and since that never happened, they now felt so threatened by me having made an actual police report, and now HUD is involved because I made a HUD complaint because of their stupid eviction notice. They would not budge on this. So what did this tell me about the character of these people? You're in a meeting with a tenant that is asking you why you did all that. Yet you still start pushing me down, and that's what they did. There is no question about it. And I'm not only saying this, my lawyer will tell you the same, because your lawyer is your witness, okay? No one can say, oh no, it wasn't so. However, and other means are possible, you know. You could technically always have your phone running on record, let's say as an example or something. So even though that may not be a legal way of going by whatever, but as I said, the internet is forever. And nobody cares on the internet if anything is all, you know, completely kosher, whatever. A recording is a recording. I have heard and seen on other channels. Just saying about that. So I do not know these people. I do not know their agenda. Never met any of them. I have no freaking idea why all this happened, but I do understand it happened because of their characters, and that is extremely sad. And to that gentleman that has done so many great things and good things for so many tenants and whatever, yes, I agree to most of that. But what you have done here was extremely shisty and shady. I can top it off again. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot. They told my lawyer that these 2 eviction notices are actually not real eviction notices. They are templates their office uses to send out to tenants. And then both of us, my lawyer and I, both of us, started talking and asking them if they were serious. My lawyer said, these clearly say eviction notices, the date you have to move out, blah, blah, blah. And yes, afterwards, they would have had to go and file in court. That's not the point. The point is these are eviction notices. They are notifying you of an upcoming official court filing for an eviction notice. These are not templates. It's an intimidation paper. And here again, this is how I felt and still feel. Complete intimidation. Shame on you people. Shame on you people. Telling me how great you've done, what great things you're doing, blah, blah, blah. And then you treat me, a stranger, like I'm some kind of wannabe criminal, and you're assuming this and that. Who are you? I tell you who you are. You are on a power trip. You may not have realized that yet, but it's time to do so, because this is now going never, 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 never going to go away. This is not a threat. It's just me saying this. This is now a protocol with HUD. This is now officially reported everywhere to read up in public records. It is not gonna go away, meaning it's gonna be on this particular management office records. Doesn't matter who works there. It's a management office. Do they not realize that this is not good and not nice and not the right way to do? Obviously not, and that is the very scary part, because what else are people like that capable of? Think about it. Doesn't matter where you are, in a little small town or in a big industrial city. It's the same character. Someone can hurt you. I'm not speaking physically hurting you, but this type of character can hurt you. The way it would have hurt me was, I am a low-income disabled senior that I have to count on government help, meaning I have to wait till I can find one of those lower rental apartments, meaning there is big stuff around that and time. So these people gambled with my daily life. If I would have, I tell you truly, I would have gone till the end of this planet, organized anyone and everyone I can find and rattle up to back me up, be behind me, bring this to light. And they would have not won. But in the meantime, here's what I'm saying. I don't know what's going to happen in this town. If they would have filed in court, I don't know who is in the court seat. I don't know if they are relatives. I don't know who doesn't like my face and so forth. I'm not assuming that is what's happening, but it could. If any of you people are watching law and crime, daily happenings, updates on YouTube or any other channels, podcasts, Reddit, wherever you are on, X, you name it, you hear it all the time. I'm not paranoid, I'm just a realist. If you think it cannot happen to you, wake up. It can happen to any of us. It just happened to me. Yes, I do not know these people. I do not know this lady that thought she had to print out a Facebook post and that's what she did say.